Uh-oh, this is a hard one.
Looks big.
You ready? What is the 3-week sprint like?
Oh. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
It starts soft, right? You're very excited.
It's a warm-up jog.
It's new. It's something. At least for me, because I come from an engineering background, all this is new for me, and I'm like really excited. So what are we gonna learn? And we go in the class, and we have all these new topics. So it starts with conversations, as we said. He explains to us. We have our questions. So first week, second week, they are about learning, trying to understand. And then third week is really the sprint, I think, because you get the group project. So far you had already maybe some assignments, individual assignments, but they're okay.
Yeah.
But the group project is when it gets real, huh? Yeah. Because we are suddenly in this mode when with new people in the group, you haven't worked with them before, and you have to do everything together. For a topic that you just learned, people that you don't know, like, the dynamic of the group still, how you work, how you want all these ideas together.
It's a beast of a question. So I think the 3-week sprint, I mean, really the way the modules are done, we're leveraging kind of this agile framework to apply that to how we're learning topics. So we take each individual 3-week sprint and learn kind of what would be an entire course in those 3 weeks. So I think keeping that in mind, the whole thing is somewhat of a sprint, but to your point, I think we start out, for example, we had Purpose course was our first course, which is kind of like an economics class. So the first 2 weeks, we'd have individual assignments and lectures and a lot of reading to kind of pack our brains with different frameworks and topics. And then the third week, we're using that time to really apply that knowledge to like a very opaque, usually open-ended question, which you need to solve with a group of people that, I mean, in our case, now we know each other, but in some cases you don't know these people, you don't know their background, there are no roles and responsibilities, so it can be kind of like the Wild West, but if you can tame that, then I think, this last week is really a rewarding week at the end because you work a lot, really hard with all of these people, these usually 5 groups of 4 or 5 people, and you're spending many hours with them, and then it can be high stress, and I think it's a good level of stress, but then we're presenting the topic and the feeling after, like, what do you think about it?
It's exciting, fun at the same time, and I would say a bit stressful, depends what kind of person you are.
Right.
But yeah, in the end, everybody is so happy. You are relieved. Finally, you had a good presentation.
Yeah.
And then we party hard.
Yes, and then we celebrate to culminate the biggest sprint of the 3 weeks is the end of module celebration. So everyone should get very excited about that. But yeah, I would think
I think it's the only way to actually remember what you learn in the end. To be in this situation, like in this, I would say, stressful.
Right.
But what did Amanda say? How we learn is in surprise, frustration, and what was the third?
But those 2 are good enough. But surprise, frustration.
I hope she
Don't
doesn't
tell
see
Amanda,
this.
but there's a third one. But yeah, those 2. I mean,
and failure.
And failure, yes, which none of us failed. That's why we forgot about that one. But yeah, I mean, when you're put in times where not all of us are going to know the answers, which is really the whole goal. Like, we all don't have the same background. A lot of us are not going to know specific topics or tools or answers, but we get to kind of work through each other and really experience all of those range of emotions. But it's really a rewarding process.
I read recently a nice story. In the medieval times, they used to teach kids something and then throw them in the river, so that they can really learn it. Like,
that's what they're doing
from this adrenaline rush that they get. So maybe it's the same with us.
Maybe it's the same. I think they're trying to emulate that.
Throw them in.
Yeah.